Ma'am, it's an honor to have you today, this evening. I am Dr. Chinmay Puro, MBBS, currently a member of the Youth Cancer Research Charity Organization India. Ma'am, we did a slide take up on you, and you've worked in many of the prestigious places. You've had experience working in the Prince Philip Hospital in UK, as well as you've been working in Tata Memorial Hospital currently as a senior resident, and have had experience in working as a clinical assistant in Kokilabad Hospital as well. Ma'am, would you want to share with us certain experiences? What drove you to dedicate your life to cancer and be an oncosurgeon?
Yes, sure. Thank you for having me here today. What I would like to think is that I joined medicine, of course, with the intention of becoming a doctor, but becoming a surgeon and then now an oncosurgeon, that pretty much chose me. So I just set out to. At the beginning, I worked in the UK as well. I was working in general surgery, and then I came to India to pursue my further studies. And I did initially work in Kokilaben first, so that's where I got all my surgical experience. And I'm really indebted to all the seniors that I worked there with, because they did such good work that they inspired me to go ahead and pursue my career in surgery. And they are all the teachers were all, or the consultants were all trained from Tata Memorial Hospital, and that's how now I find myself there. And I am it is an absolute honor, and to be working with that institute, and also helping serve people as well. But it's some great work happening there, so yeah.
Ma'am, of course, Tata Memorial Hospital is considered as the mecca for all the cancer patients. It has actually made the cancer treatment quite affordable to the common masses. Ma'am, would you like to share certain experience that was defining for you during your tenure of this working as an oncosurgeon?
So we do have experiences like that pretty much every day, but sometimes it is what I have learned, that all of us there are we have one goal, which is to help our patients. And it sometimes it is, you think that like our charges are very minimal there, and sometimes I mean, it's really, I don't know how to say it. So, because in a country like ours, it has a very diverse, not just culturally, but even socioeconomically, there's a very diverse strata. And then when you have patients coming to you, and also they don't have what do you say? First, they don't have access to good medical care. So most of the patients we see at Tata Memorial Hospital are out of town. They're not from Mumbai,
Yes.
So we see patients from West Bengal, from Uttar Pradesh, from Bihar, and they come here or to the hospital with a lot of faith in the treatment that is provided. And from our end, we try our best to give them that care, and it is provided to them at very like very minimal basic charges. Like every day we have such experiences where we see patients not even having, for the basic investigations, not having well, monetary availability and all, but whatever can be done through the social workers and everything, we do try to help out. And they are getting care that is equivalent to what you would get at the international institutes like MSKCC or any other institutes like that. But I mean, I wish and I hope we can do more and more to help more people in the future. Yes.
Of course, ma'am. Ma'am, there was a research that was done by the Breast Cancer Research Foundation, which said that the incidence of the breast cancer has increased by 20% since 2008, and the mortality has also increased by 14%. Ma'am, could you tell us
Right.
about the factors that have been playing for this increase in the incidence?
Yeah. So, see, in India, our breast cancer incidence in rural India is like about 1 in 65 women, and in urban India is about 1 in 24 women. So it is increasing more so in the urban population. So that you have to see, look at the risk factors. So the risk factors are, lifestyle is one of them. Uh, uh, More and more women now are working, so they opt for having children at a later age. Also increased weight gain, so we have less physical activities in the city, so increase of weight gain and obesity is another cause. Third factor is the use of alcohol. So all these things, lifestyle changes, and weight gain, having an earlier pregnancy. If you have a child before the age of 30, more like 2 children, and you breastfed them, then that reduces your risk of cancer by about 50%. So these are the risk factors that we need to look out for, and that's in the urban population. And in the rural India, it is not really that big a problem yet, but yes, we are getting there. So yeah.
Ma'am, what sort of difficulties have you faced while treating the cancer patients both in Kokilaben as well as Tata Memorial Hospital?
No, but that there is difficulties, I wouldn't say. See, in Kokilaben, they don't have like our patients that we see, they are more early breast cancers. Okay, they don't have any resource constraints, and they are more educated and more informed. So one thing that is important is awareness. Now, the patient population that I see at Tata Memorial Hospital, and in India, we see a lot of more young breast cancers. Like our patients are quite young, and what happens is, because the lump is a painless lump, so they don't present, or they think, okay, they have a lump, it's not bothering them, so they don't come to us early. Okay, that's the kind of patients I see at Tata Memorial Hospital. So they come as advanced breast cancer. So one is that they have resource constraints, and they bring themselves in more difficult situation to us, right? And the other thing in Kokilaben is that they're more aware, more educated. Okay, so they come to us with early breast cancer, with smaller lumps, more treatable, with better, they have resources available. Plus, because they've presented early, their survival will be better. Unfortunately, that's not what happens, or what we see at Tata Memorial Hospital. They are more advanced breast cancers. They have resource constraints. But from our side, of course, they're given the same treatment that they would get at Kokilaben Hospital as well. So that remains the same. Yeah.
Ma'am, so now that we know that the problem is late presentation by the people, so the people who are coming from very distant rural areas, they might be having primary healthcare centers, the rural healthcare centers located out there. So the screening, what would you recommend in order to get better screening in these places, so that the accessibility is better, the people can detect the cancers earlier?
Yeah, so we're not so much as in proponents of screening in our country. More so, it is about increasing awareness. Okay, so we just had a recent publication, and we had a talk at the hospital this morning by Dr. Mitra, who's one of our very emeritus professors, very, very senior professor. So he just gave us a talk on screening. So recently there was a trial of RCT, randomized control trial, that was published in the British Medical Journal about, they've for 1.5 lakh women in cluster settings in the slums of Bombay. So they were screened over a period of 20 years.
Yes.
And so what they found, so we didn't use mammography, which is normally, like in UK or US, mammography is the screening tool, right? In India, we've trained these primary healthcare workers, like you were saying, to examine, ladies, and they've been formally trained by professionals, and they've gone and examined these ladies in all these clusters in the slums in Bombay. And about 1.5 lakh women, 1,50,000 women in across 20 years. So what they found was that it does, in women above 50 years, it does bring down the mortality. But screening, you need not necessarily use a mammogram, but screening by clinical breast examination, yes, that can be helpful, especially in low middle income countries like ours. Having said that, in our country, awareness is more important. So we need to, whether it's our healthcare workers or, primary healthcare workers, the awareness has to, go reach out to women and improve their awareness more than screening. So we are not at this stage, at least we don't, screening is not, I think, on the cards for our government or our population. Let's put it like that.
Okay,
I'm not saying that I personally don't believe in that, but yeah. Yeah.
All right, ma'am. Ma'am, could we also talk about the TMEST trial and the Wisdom trial that was actually carried out on the women for the 3D mammography, and also the actual need of chemotherapy, the reduction in the use of chemotherapy for women having different risk factors while they've been detected with the breast cancer?
Okay. like what do you want to know first? You tell me what do you want to know about chemotherapy, as in reduction in or the requirement for chemotherapy. I didn't get that part. Can you just what do you want to know about that? Sorry.
There was a trial that was carried out, the Wisdom trial, that said that the women, uh, but there are different risk factors for the breast cancer,
Right.
right? So all the
Right.
women,
Yes.
so mostly a very personalized approach towards the treatment of the
Correct.
breast cancer could be devised by this trial, is what they wanted to say, that the same strat of the chemotherapy should not be given to all the women who have been detected with cancer. So is this method of practice applied in our hospitals in India? A
Yes,
very personalized approach.
And that is absolutely true. So breast cancer now, there is a lot of research that has gone into it. It is very specialized. Okay, there it is divided into to the extent of there are various molecular subtypes. So there are luminal A, luminal B, etc., etc.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
there are tumors like that. So the patients are treated accordingly, and the treatment is more tailor-made to each patient. So, you know, if your patient like presents to you with early breast cancer, she's a perimenopausal lady. So breast cancer treatment is divided into women who are premenopausal, postmenopausal, and the perimenopausal ladies are treated as premenopausal women. Okay.
Yes.
So in the premenopausal women, they're treated a little more aggressively because the cancers tend to be more aggressive. Okay, and in the postmenopausal women, so suppose a lady with an early breast cancer presents to you and she's at a perimenopausal or postmenopausal age group, and depending upon the grade of her tumor, so there is the way the cells divide. So the tumor grade is, there is grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. So you have to see how the tumor grade is. So if it's a low grade tumor, she's a node negative cancer, then there is something known as the oncotype DX. We don't use that at Tata Memorial Hospital because it is an expensive test, but that's so they have a recurrence course. So once you perform this test on it, they can tell us whether the patient will benefit from chemotherapy or not. Okay, when more patient where patients have resource constraints, we have something that we do in the lab in Tata is called the Key 67. So in Key 67 again tells us the MIB score, which is the MIB index, which tells us how the cells proliferate at the rate at which they proliferate.
Yes.
So so that again tells us whether they will benefit from chemotherapy or they will not benefit from chemotherapy. So that is for the early breast cancers. But then again, if it is a locally advanced breast cancer, then they are given a full course of chemotherapy, which is there are various drugs like there are anthracyclines, and then they use paclitaxel and the full works, and then hormone therapy and targeted therapy where applicable. So definitely treatment for breast cancer is more tailor-made these days. Yes.
Ma'am, and also in urban areas, while we were talking about mammography, do you think that working on the 3D mammography has any benefit over the normal 2D mammography that has been carried around in India right now?
When you're saying 3D, I assume you're talking about tomosynthesis. So tomosynthesis is being widely used. It is definitely, so it is definitely more beneficial because you can get various cuts, and you can have a look if there is somewhere the breast tissue or breast parenchyma is being superimposed. Then when you look at the other views, you know whether it is actually a lesion or it is just superimposition of tissue. So it is definitely being used at all centers, and it has its benefits and drawbacks. But otherwise, a 2D simple X-ray mammography is just as beneficial in detecting breast cancer in patients, and for us from the operative point of view as well. So yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, what advice would you like to give to the general physicians in the primary healthcare centers or the rural healthcare centers for being more aware about the early changes, cancerous changes in the patient? What should they be
so
doing?
anybody who so anybody who presents to them with a breast lump is what the main first thing that you do is a triple assessment. So one is a clinical breast examination. Then you have a radiological examination. So whether you get an ultrasound or mammography, whatever is available to them. And then the final confirmation is by a core biopsy or a true cut biopsy. So this has to be followed for all cancer patients. And then there has to be like in the UK, they have something where there's a 2-week referral system. So they should have some system in place where they are referred to a cancer center, any center which is there near to them. Now in India, we have something called as the National Cancer Grid. Okay, so there are about 150, if I'm not mistaken, about 150 or more hospitals under the National Cancer Grid. And so I'm sure in whichever state we are, there will be, they should have access to those. And so once the GPs have detected, where they think that somebody may have a cancer, they should expedite and refer them to the tertiary centers for further treatment, or any cancer center as such. And yeah.
Ma'am, now that you mentioned that there has been a difference, that there is obviously a difference in the healthcare system of UK and India. What stark differences did you notice while you were working in both the places?
No, there is a huge difference. One is that, I mean, here also we have a lot of, like suppose for in Bombay, we have the BMC centers, but the thing is over there, healthcare is provided to the extent that NHS, they provide even the cab rides for the patients to come from home to the hospital, and it's all by the, everything is arranged, and there is a system in place, and it has been there for several years. We are not quite there yet. I don't think in our country healthcare is available to one and all. Like I told you the difference about Kokilaben and and patients coming to Tata Memorial Hospital. Again, having said that, in Tata Memorial, I think we even send out letters, call patients, make sure they're followed up, like the screening trial that I told you. This morning we found out that there is a 98% compliance. So those patients on that study who were detected with cancer, 98% of those patients got treatment at Tata Memorial Center. But having said that, in our country, healthcare is not available to everybody, and we have a long way to go as far as that is concerned. But and again, when we talk about cancer, we are unfortunately still struggling with tuberculosis, and the current pandemic situation is not helping either. So yeah, so but then we still, like organizations like yourself and whatever we can do from our end, we have to keep working towards it, and hopefully one day we will have a system like NHS in place in India as well. So we have to be positive, we got to hope, and we got to keep working.
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
yeah.
So ma'am, then what are your views about this, as we have been talking about our organization right now, that in the current pandemic situation where the hospitals were not taking, the hospitals were very enclosed and the patient accessibility to the doctor had shut down to a greater extent. So the cancer patients who receive chemotherapy, the cycles of the chemotherapy, and then they go home, they have certain side effects. But as you said, that the patients that come to Tata Memorial Hospital are from West Bengal, Bihar, on the very distant parts of India. So if we do digitalize the cancer care, where the patients can input their own problems and the side effects that they're facing because of it, how much do you think can it help the integration of the doctor-patient and smoothen the doctor-patient relationship?
No, so good that you brought this up. So we have been working throughout the pandemic at Tata Memorial, and even our follow-up patients, we have called them up and told them that if they're stable and they don't have any concerns, then they can follow up locally and come and see us when the situation improves. Other than that, we have teleconsultation now in place. Other than that, we have something known as the Navya Care. So Navya Care is, patients who are not, who don't have cancer treatment available to them in their cities, they can write to us through this portal, which is the Navya portal. They send in their reports and their history, and then they get in. Our experts here at Tata Memorial, they go through the history, and then they, from whatever information is available to us, and we tell them what could the possible course of their treatment be, and how they can, where, and they can take that information to their local, if they have cancer surgeons or local hospitals, and try and take that treatment there, or at least the advice is available to them. And also teleconsultation is being done on a regular basis during the pandemic by most hospitals. So unfortunately, like I told you, patients are from out of town. Some have presented to us later because they were scared and they've not left their homes and not come to take the treatment for cancer. So yes, they have, some patients have progressed and presented to us at more advanced stages. But at the same time, teleconsultation has been going on. We have been trying to refer them to doctors who have been trained from Tata and have gone back to their local places. So we do have a doctor who's trained with us, and she is now practicing in Kolkata. So we refer patients to her, or whatever we can do from our end. And there are also, Tata has multiple centers now in Uttar Pradesh and Visakhapatnam. So we're trying to do that in that way. But the hospital has been running throughout the pandemic as well.
That is
And
really
we have
great,
been
ma'am.
we have been caring for COVID patients also, who were like our cancer patients who were COVID positive. So there was a ward dedicated to them as well.
That is really nice, ma'am. Ma'am, do you think that if we do, matlab, if hum log successful हुए in launching this app, that people and different prestigious, matlab, very pristine oncosurgeons like you would think of joining an app like this in order to get connected with the patients for a daily basis of input and their side effects that they're facing, and have a telecommunication with them on an app basis like this?
I'm sure that this is the way forward, because pandemic or no pandemic, right now digital is the way to go. And if you are going to be accessible to more people and more patients, then why not? I'm sure even everybody else would like to, we would definitely like to use it and have, it works both ways. So patients have access and you have access to more patients. So definitely, why not? Yes,
Thank
I
you
think
so
it's
much,
definitely
ma'am.
like, and all the best.
Ma'am, towards the end of the session, is there any message that you would like to give to the youth that would be viewing this interview and the aspiring students out there?
So you should, whatever you aim to do, you should give it your best. You should have a passion for what you do, and you have to continue to, try and make a difference. So every person can make a difference. So whatever work we are doing, we should just give it our best. And whether it is your dream or and you can, it's somebody else's dream, but you have to give it your best shot. And every small step you take, it counts. And definitely you should try and make a difference. And in our country, we really need to. I mean, all of us can't, ship out to the US or UK. I think some of us need to stay back here and do some good work. So yeah, all the best to you. And I think it's a great endeavor, and you guys should go ahead with it. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, ma'am. It was an honor to have you today, and we got some really nice insights. Thank you so much for taking out time to be with us today, ma'am. Thank you so much.